everyone, my name is Meera. I'm an education specialist at National Children's Museum, and today we're going to be exploring a mixture that I grew up calling Gloop or oobleck, and it's a mixture of cornstarch and water and blue food coloring in this case. So cornstarch has really small particles. If you took 1 grain of cornstarch and held it up next to a grain of sand, the grain of sand would be 100 times bigger than the grain of cornstarch. Cornstarch is ground even finer than flour. And because it's ground so fine, because the grains are so small, it behaves in a very interesting way when you mix it with water. So substances in nature, in the world, can be liquids, gases, or solids. So taking water as an example, the kind of water that we drink is a liquid. It can sort of slosh around and move and flow, but when it's in a container, it stays in that container. When we heat water up, it becomes steam, which is a gas, which can also move and flow all around, but we can't contain it in a container the way we can liquid. It sort of goes wherever it wants. And then if we take liquid water and we make it really cold, we freeze it, it becomes ice. Ice is a solid, so it has one shape that it stays in, and it doesn't move and flow in the same way as liquid water. But when we take cornstarch and mix it with liquid water to make our oobleck, our gloop, it behaves in sort of an interesting way. So if you move your fingers through it slowly, what does it look like? Does it look like a solid or a liquid? Looks really liquid, right? It's sort of moving really slowly, it's flowing. But if we take a fist and we hit it really fast, it behaves like a solid, right? It's acting like a solid substance. If I was punching the water, it would be splashing all around and moving. We can sort of try and take a bit of it and make it into a ball, and some of it's dripping, but it's more or less staying in our hands, staying in a ball, sort of like Play-Doh. But then as soon as I stop moving it, it gets all melty and gooey and it looks like a liquid again. So sometimes it behaves like a liquid and sometimes it behaves like a solid. And the reason it behaves like that, the reason it behaves so weirdly, is because of how small the cornstarch particles are. Because they're so tiny, they are able to be influenced by their electric charges. So they all have an electric charge that normally is repelling all the other particles around it. So when you're moving really slowly, it's acting like a liquid because all of those particles, they don't want to be close to each other. So they're sort of moving and sliding past each other. But when you use a lot of force or a lot of motion, the particles, they get really close together. You're using enough force to overcome that electric charge and the particles stick really close together, and they start to act like a solid. So under some conditions, it'll be more liquid, and under some conditions, it'll be more solid. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you do some learning and exploring with oobleck, with Gloop. Please let us know if you do. You can send us a video. And thank you so much for exploring with us today, and we hope to see you back here again tomorrow.